my name is Kali. My pronouns are they them, and welcome to my writing vlog that is sort of in a weird hiatus situation. Um, I'm writing, that's not the thing. Um, but I sort of started this project when I was sort of trying wrapping up something else. I didn't really feel like doing like a proper official series 3 of the vlog. So this is sort of an in-betweeny bit that I'm trialing. I'm really trying not to stick to rules that don't really matter. It's not going so great, but I'm still sort of trying, just as I'm sort of working to become a bit more relaxed about you shoulds and things like that. So I thought, okay, why not do it in like a weird, chaotic way that makes sense for no one but me? So yes, I'm working on a fairy story that is called The Girl from the World, and it's told from the perspective of the fairies that the human is coming to. I mean, they don't call themselves fairies; they um, call themselves folk, and it's has a lot of interesting themes that come up, like a class divide between the folk, um, and then also sort of how do they see the humans in their stories. The humans are the one that are unreliable because they can lie, and you are greatly advised not to enter into bargains with them. So it's sort of a bit of a play on this trope. I into this. I've read quite a few sort of fairy door, otherworld type stories. One was The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door recently, and also The Thorns Remain, which was a really nice surprise. It took a while to get going for me, but I really appreciated what it was trying to do. Um, so yeah, I'm sort of still doing a bit of research in that area. I finished Snake Eater by T. Kingfisher a few days ago. That also has this sort of there's a different spirit realm thing. Um, I think it's just the kind of books that I'm drawn to at the moment because I'm working on a story like this. But I mean, I would read them anyway, but like, especially now. Um, I'm also, I think I reached simultaneously peak velocity and rock bottom on my new rabbit hole that is fountain pens and inks. I really spiraled over the last few days, and um, I bought this pen holder which fits 12 pens. And let's say once everything that I've ordered arrives, there's one place left. So I think I'm really trying to give myself grace for. I know why this happened. It happened because I've been hanging on to money for a while and trying to save up for a really big hobby edit next year. And these kind of restrictions always come with a binge for me. Sort of lies in my personal history as well. But at the moment, this sort of behavior has shifted out from other things to hobbies. And I think lots of people feel a bit out of control when it comes to this thing. And I don't think it's so out of my control, but I'm sort of more that I'm standing outside of myself, watching myself be not exactly reckless. It's not, it's, I'm doing it in like really like established parameters that I've drawn up. And, but it's still too much. And I think reaching this point where I'm sort of realizing, okay, that's you can do some nice colorful inks, that's fine, but even those need to fit into like parameters of usefulness. Um, but I've been really loving content by lots of creators that where they sort of showcase their pens and their inks and what they have in their pens and how these different nibs write. Um, Up until recently, the only criterion for me was, does it write well? Can I write with it for hours at a time? Um, and so yeah, I think that's shifting a bit because I've just become interested in like different properties and like maybe um I've allowed myself to get a few inks that might just be for journaling, not so much for the writing, where I'm dependent on being able to read back and transcribe. For journaling, I very rarely, to be honest, read back, even though someone said you really should, but I'm not at that stage yet. It's more about the brain numb thing. And then if I don't read it back, it's just to be in the moment, to enjoy the colors, to enjoy the flow of the pen, then I can give myself a bit more freedom. But all in all, I'm really thinking about, this is the craft. This is sort of what influences the flow of the story as well. Like if the pen is not great, um, there will be, I won't reach flow state um, so easily, and that will then have consequences for the story as well. And it's really, really interesting to me how this sort of developed. I think I've always jumped a bit from not hobby to hobby, but for example, I learned many, many crafts to just check which ones I could stick with. Like knitting and spinning has stuck with me now for good, I guess. I've just finished a scarf that I've started during the holidays, and so it's like an asymmetric scarf again. This is my go-to pattern, and it wraps really, really nicely. You don't have like a big bib somewhere. Um, and I think I'm calling this almond blossom because it sort of has a bit of almond paste colors, but also the proper blossom colors in there. And it has just a lovely color variation. Um, and with this, it's all about the color for me. So it's not really a surprise that with the inks that I fall into that kind of rabbit hole, because it's all about the colors too. And it's also colors that I can, because I write all the time anyway with art, sort of um the result on the page might not really match what you're expecting it to be or what you want it to be. With writing, it's much more about the impression of the whole page, so to speak. So yeah, I'm sort of gathering supplies to do a few more like ink and pen related videos. I might just sprinkle them in here and there. So yeah, don't be too surprised if you see me branching out into like more of this content. I mean, I'm still very much in the mess around and find out phase of everything of my life, actually. Which is sort of, yeah, being an adult is mainly an illusion, I guess. Sort of just children with bigger budgets. Um, but this is sort of where I'm at the moment. I'm still um reading an awful lot. As I said, I've read Snake Eater because it was from the library, and I anticipated that I won't be able to um extend the loan. And so I'm now in the second volume of the Thursday Next series as the reread of this year that I've put on my would be nice if I get around to it list. So yeah, that's it's going great. So I really like, so the first one sort of establishes the weirdnesses of the world this is set in, and now we're going full throttle into literature. Um, One of the things that has a section where that starts to happen that I remembered very clearly from this book series is the footnotaphone, which is sort of like a telephone conversation in the text between the footnotes and the main text, which is such a nice touch. So, and I definitely wanted to get to this bit. I'm not quite sure whether I actually will go through all of them in one go. I don't think so. I think it's more something that I want to space out like around the year. But I'm guessing that I will read the first three relatively quickly because I just have them here. Um, and then sprinkle the other ones, as I said, in between other library loans. I've also done like a new TBR for my electronic books. And yeah, I have not really started on that yet. It's at the moment I'm still very much favoring um, hardbacks and paperbacks, to be honest. I again I'm going through phases with everything like colors and also book preferences. But hopefully the sort of the having a electronic TBR will still help me to just get on with reading what I have. That's the main thing that I'm really trying to do, even though I might splurge in one area of my life, that I then turn back and not buy so many books. It's a space related thing. The cottage is extremely tiny. I have about as many books as I can fit in it. So I'm really trying to limit the amount of books coming into the cottage. I I made a like a pile of books that I would like to bring to my local little library just to have them out of the way. Basically, I've read them or I decided I've not reading. I won't read them in the future. And I think it also has something to do with the beginning of the year and as I said before, I'm not really into resolutions or goals as such. Um, but I think there's still something to be said for taking stock and just seeing what's going on. What is the situation at the moment? Recently, I've been thinking a bit about why are we always told that we need to work on ourselves, get better, which usually means that we are just getting more productive, but not really for ourselves, but for someone who profits off our productivity. So a bit of um, yeah, and just I think many people are at that stage where they sort of try and sort of like getting better for whom, like, and um is it really for yourself? And then just see what are the things that you would like to develop. I mean, I definitely want to work and work and work on my writing craft. Um, that's definitely something I would like to do until probably the day I drop. Um, and just get more into like out of my comfort zone as well. For example, I'm famously bad at like shorter pieces of fiction. I don't know whether I would really want to go into the short story area. I don't think that's not where my interest lies. I don't really read many short stories either. I need some like development. I need some time with characters usually. And there are definitely areas that I would like to know more about, where I would love to read more non-fiction books about. That's all fine, but like especially at the beginning of the year, where like your swimming pool is overrun by people who want to have made resolutions, and by end of February they're all gone again. And each and every one of those people probably is beating themselves up about it. That's not really, and that's something that happens every single year. And I don't think that's very productive in the long run. So yeah, it's more something about sustainability, how to keep up something. As I said before, I'm very strongly habit forming, which probably tells you all you need to know. And then once I've done it for a while, something happens. Maybe I get sick, I can't do it anymore, and then I wouldn't say fall off the wagon. It's just it doesn't make sense anymore, and then I don't do it anymore. So this is another like cycle I'm going through. Um, and I think the writing has been one of the very few things that has been consistent. I've updated my progress to like my process to things that have really worked for me. I used to work in like write in pencil, which was amazing for the writing, but again, not great when you then type it up. Of course, it's waterproof, but it smudges. I didn't like the hard pencils. I went for the soft ones, so they rub off even more. It's really hard on your eyes when you type it and try to decipher it. My handwriting is atrocious anyway. Um, then I switched to um, sort of more like spirals, then sort of gel ballpoint thingies, and now I'm at fountain pens. And I must say that the fountain pens are definitely like the most enjoyable writing experience. I think before it was definitely more for practical reasons, also for money reasons, I guess. Um, but even though I wrote in ballpoint, I usually had the expensive notebook, so it was like more of the writing, like the vessel, not so much the instrument, where I saved some money. So yeah, um, I'm sure lots of people think about these sort of things at the beginning of the year. It also because it's actually quite nice today. It's so bright and cold, but not uncomfortably so. But it has been really quite grey and horrible. Very rainy as well, but sort of on the edge of freezing, which is like my least favorite weather because you never know what you're gonna get. And that's just a thing where it's probably the worst time to try and change your life, to be honest. So, and that's not really what I want to do. I want to understand my life a bit better, not necessarily change it. Um, I think that's something that I'm sort of on the road to doing. And I think that should be enough for that's all I really want to do is sort of understand what's going on. And if I need to change something, then I have some ammunition to give me some arguments. I don't know how you feel about starting a new year, starting new things. Um, I said before, I definitely want this to be more of a year for analog art, um, for colors in the real world, not just on the tablet. Um, just how it feels to write on paper, to draw on paper, to play with colors on paper. And it's sort of it's not a capitulation. It's sort of more of an adjustment to just bring me back into the present, I think. And yeah, that's all the fun things I've been thinking about. Let me know where your mind takes you at this moment. This is sort of a very just chatty check-in, really. And it doesn't really tell you much about my writing, but maybe you're in a very similar situation, as I said. If you would like to sample my writing, there's a very risk-free way to do it. You can just sign up for my newsletter. The link is in the description box below, and as a sign-up gift, I will send you the first volume of my six-part fantasy series, Slow Moon. It's like a free EPUB download. So you're, I would be thrilled if you'd stick around for the ride, subscribe if you're so inclined, give me a like if you want to, and then maybe we'll see each other again. Thank you so much for watching.